Hi guys, welcome to this lesson on trigonometry, finding side lengths. Going to do a quick review on what those trigonometry features are. Finding the sine, cosine, and tangent of an angle might require us to remember our special saying of SOHCAHTOA. Where if I wanted to find the sine of angle B here, okay, I need to know what the opposite side, what the adjacent side, what the hypotenuse side is of this triangle. Well, the hypotenuse is all going to remain the same. That's across from the right angle. There's my hypotenuse side. If this is angle B, then I draw across the triangle. That would be my opposite side. And right next to it is my adjacent. So if I want to find the sine of angle B, I'm going to use the S stands for sine. The O would stand for the opposite. The hypotenuse with H stands for hypotenuse. The opposite side is 9. The hypotenuse is 15. So sine of angle B would be 9 over 15. Cosine of angle B would be adjacent over hypotenuse, which would be 6 over 15. And the tangent of angle B would be our opposite over adjacent, which would be 9 over 6. So again, that's a short little review. Try these problems on your own if you have, actually you're not ready to find the value of x. That is what we're going to be finding today. We're going to be finding these side lengths today. So remember our SOHCAHTOA. Sine of the angle equals opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine of our angle equals adjacent over hypotenuse. And our tangent of our angle equals opposite over adjacent. So remember that note sheet that we had yesterday. If you need to grab it out of the bin, please do so. That would be helpful as we begin today. As you have your note sheet, we want to write the ratios for sine of x, cosine of x, and tangent of x. I actually just reviewed out this first little example, so I'm going to let you guys do those ones on your own. To the new stuff, to number 4 here. Find the value of x round to the nearest tenth. Okay. Wherever you see the angle, this is our angle of reference. It's 33 degrees. We can find this side length knowing this angle and that side of 14. What we need to identify is from this angle, which sides do we have? Well, the 14 represents the hypotenuse. So I know it's either going to be sine or cosine. Those are the only two trig functions that use the hypotenuse. From this 33-degree angle, I have to draw across the triangle to find the x. So that side represents the opposite side, which means I'm going to be using sine. Well, I know the sine ratio is a sine of our angle equals opposite over hypotenuse. So to set this up, I'm going to take sine. The angle measure is 33. So 33 is going to go in there, equals the opposite side, well that's x, over the hypotenuse of 14. Now we just have to solve this equation. Sine of 33 equals x divided by 14. Take a note of this if my number is in the bottom. Number is in the bottom. You multiply. So that means to find x, to solve for x, we're going to be multiplying. And what we're going to be multiplying is we're going to take 14 times the sine of 33. So that is where we go to our calculator. And I don't have a nice graphing calculator like you do. But I'm going to type in 14 times the sine. I find the sine button right here. There's my sine button. I type in 33 in the middle. We hit equals, and we get 7.6249, yada yada. All I want you to do is round it to the nearest spot. So we're going to say 7.6 because the number after the 6 is less than 5. If this 2 here were bigger than 5, that second number, that 2, if that were bigger than 5, we'd round that up to 7.7. So I'm going to go back to my problem here. X is equal to 7.6. And that is our side length. Let's try another one. So we have 37 degrees right here, which means I got to figure out my side. So that 14 represents the hypotenuse. This x is right next. So I don't have going across. This would mean the opposite side, but the x isn't there. The x is located at the adjacent. So that means I've got a and h. So I'm going to use cosine. So the cosine of the angle, that's where 37 goes, is going to equal the adjacent side, x, over 14. Again, notice the location. The number's in the bottom, so we're going to multiply. So I'm going to take 14 times the cosine of 37. That will give me my x. So 14 times the cosine of 37. Let's go to the calculator. We've got 14 times, whoops, clear that out. 14 times cosine, right here, of 37 equals 11.18. The number right after the 1 is bigger than 5, so I'm going to round that to 11.2. So x equals 11.2. Let's try the next example. Here is my angle. Across from the right angle, that's the hypotenuse. We don't have the hypotenuse. We have the opposite side of x and the adjacent side of 5.4. So we are going to use tangent this time. So we have the tangent of 29 equals the opposite side of x over 5.4. Numbers in the bottom again, so we're going to multiply. So we're going to go 5.4 times tangent of 29. That will give me x. I'll go to the calculator again. So we have 5.4 times tangent of 29. That gives me a side length of 2.99. We can round that up to 3.0. We do the 0.0 because that tells me that I rounded. If I just write 3 without a 0.0 there, that means I landed exactly on 3, which didn't happen. So we need to keep that 3.0 there to help us. Okay, let's use this one. We have to determine which sides we have. We have the hypotenuse and we have the adjacent side because this is my angle. So hypotenuse and adjacent means I'm using cosine. So we've got the cosine of 61 equals adjacent 9 over x. Notice where the number is now. It's different. So when the number is on top, we divide. Make a note of that. When the number's on the bottom, you multiply. When the number is on top, we divide. So to find x, we're going to take 9 divided by the cosine of 61. So we go to our calculator and we type in 9 divided by cosine 61, and we get 18.56, which is 18.6. So x is going to equal 18.6. Okay, last one. What I'm going to throw a wrinkle in here. Let's say we have to find both x and y. So let's determine the sides first. X is my hypotenuse. Here's 36 degrees. That means that 20 is the opposite side and this y is the adjacent side. So to find x, I'm going to find x using green here. I am going to use opposite over hypotenuse. So I'm going to use sine of 36 equals 20 over x. That will give me the hypotenuse. So remember, numbers on the top, so we're going to divide. So x is going to equal 20 divided by the sine of 36. So x equals, let's use our calculator here, 20 divided by the sine of 36. Was that right? Was it the sine of 36? Yes. So that gave us 34.02. We'll go 34.0. Now, let's find y. Well, if I know that that's exactly 20, let's use it. So we're going to use opposite and adjacent, which would be tangent. So the tangent of 36 is going to equal 20 over y. Numbers on the top again, so y is going to equal 20 divided by the tan of 36. 20 divided by the tan of 36 is going to be, so let's clear that out. 20 divided by tan 36 gives us 27.52. So y equals 27.52.